It won't be long now until the end of the year for seasonal amusement parks in a lot of places. 2020 was unfortunately a pretty short season, and there's no one on earth who can say this season went the way they thought it would if you'd asked them a year ago. It just goes to show that life can be pretty unpredictable.
You never know what you're going to get.
But since I never learn, I'm going to try to predict it anyway, or at least I'm going to try to predict the next 5 seasons at Kings Island from the 2021 season to the 2025 season. Now this could possibly be the most insane time to try to do something like this because while I'm not privy to any Cedar Fair board meetings, I have to imagine companies in the amusement and attractions industry are thinking a little more short term right now. A lot of what's going to happen in the next 5 years or more, I think will be determined by how the next couple of seasons go. That being said, I'm going to give it my best shot anyway. Let's get into it. 2021 is the easiest it's going to get here because I don't think we're getting anything new for 2021. I should note here there has been some speculation regarding survey flags that have been placed in front of Action Zone right outside the park. And that speculation ranges from a new entrance plaza to some kind of ride to maybe just some kind of drainage or utility work, and I'd be willing to bet that's what it is. I've been told by many people familiar with these survey flags that they see indications a road is being removed here. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's any one theory everyone can get behind, and many people still think this doesn't really mean anything at all. There is one reason why I think it could potentially be the beginning of a new entrance plaza, and I'll talk about that a little later on, but with the revenue Kings Island has most certainly lost this year, I'd be looking for Cedar Fair not to spend any money they don't have to. Keep in mind, not only are season pass sales likely down from where they would normally be by now, not to mention ticket sales, they've also lost a lot of pass revenue for next season since all 2020 passes are good for 2021 as well. Don't get me wrong, I'll be keeping an eye on those survey markers to see if anything comes of it, but I think the most we can really hope for is the return of Grand Carnival. And I know some people are going to disagree with me here, but I think it's way too early to say it's a foregone conclusion we'll get even that, because it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility there will still be some kind of social distancing going on 11 months or so from now. I don't know how likely that is, but there's a greater than zero chance. Let's put it that way. In any case, I think 2021 at Kings Island, and let's be honest, a lot of places, is pretty much just going to be a do-over for the park on what the 2020 season was supposed to be. 2022 is a big one because this season will see Kings Island celebrating its 50th anniversary. Anytime a milestone date like this for a park pops up, you get a lot of rampant speculation about major new attractions. And I understand why people think that way, but here's what I think they'll actually do. I think we'll see attempts made throughout the park to bring older attractions back to the way people remember them where possible. I think we'll see the racer trains painted with their original red, white, and blue color scheme again. Not sure if they'll go all out and paint the track as well, but I can see that being a possibility. I hope to see them bringing the theming and Adventure Express back to life. People have been asking for that for a while, and I think if they're gonna do it, there's a good chance they'll do it here. I think this will be a season of renewal for the park. We will almost certainly see some kind of special event commemorating the milestone, and I think they'll want to make sure the park looks at its best. I don't see them building much in the way of new attractions, most likely, but I do see them doing a lot of work refreshing things around the park. That being said, there is some speculation of my own here that I want to throw at the wall and see if it sticks. So get your tinfoil hats and let's do this, just for fun. For years now, I've seen a lot of complaints about the dark ride Boo Blasters. And frankly, I can see why. This is a shooting attraction, yet the guns don't work all that well anymore. It doesn't look all that great. It's full of plywood and just sort of screams low quality. And maybe having people load onto moving vehicles in the pitch dark wasn't all that great of an idea in the first place. It's obvious this is just a repurposed Scooby-Doo themed attraction, and so it sort of feels incomplete. In short, I think this is a ride that is definitely due for an update, and I wouldn't be surprised if the higher-ups at Kings Island agreed with me on that. So, What if they were to redo this ride and reopen it as a new version of Phantom Theater in 2022 during the 50th anniversary season? For those that don't know, Kings Island's version of Boo Blasters is a dark ride that's gone through many incarnations over the years. First opening during the park's inaugural season as an Aero dark ride called Enchanted Voyage from 1972 to 1984, when it became Smurfs Enchanted Voyage until 1991. Prior to the 1992 season, the ride building underwent extensive renovation, removing the water transportation system used in the ride up to this point and replacing it with a Morgan manufacturing ride system similar to Disney's Omnimover system. Now, this system is still in use to this day, albeit with some modifications. The ride reopened in 1992 as Phantom Theater, an extremely popular attraction themed to a haunted opera house, and it lasted for 10 years at the park. So why would Kings Island redo Boo Blasters and base it on an older attraction? Because the people who are going to have the strongest sense of nostalgia for this ride, also known as my generation, are now people with families and small children. A 50th anniversary celebration has the potential to draw people back to the park who haven't been in a while. These people could become annual season pass buyers, charm the parents who have good memories of this old ride, and that could represent a whole lot of gold passes, drink plans, meal plans, Fun Picks passes, and other add-ons. Now, the original Phantom Theater included animatronics, some of which can still be found throughout the park as decorations during Halloween haunts. But I'm not suggesting that Kings Island would consider rebuilding the ride in the exact same way. Rather, that they would open a new attraction based on Phantom Theater, but built in a much more cost-effective way using modern tech. They did something similar in 2019 when they rebuilt the Antique Autos ride, and while I'm not sure how likely this actually is, I could see them doing something similar with Boo Blasters. The fact that this is Kings Island's 50th anniversary is also the one thing that makes me think we shouldn't completely dismiss the idea that Kings Island may be building a new opening plaza in the near future. Cedar Fair has been redoing these for a lot of their bigger parks, but they haven't gotten to Kings Island yet. Mike Kuntz's tenure as VP and general manager of the park has been largely characterized by modernizing the look and feel of the park, renovating a little each season, and bringing some things like the Glockenspiel at the Fest House back to their former glory. And I think part of the reason for that is this impending anniversary. To summarize my predictions here, because I know this section was a long one, I think they will absolutely be going through the park and cleaning things up and repainting them to appeal to people's nostalgia of when these attractions were new. There will be some kind of celebration events, and they may do something with Boo Blasters. But this one, I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit and say my official prediction is I think Boo Blasters will get some kind of update over the next 5 years. Just real quick here, if you're enjoying the video, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing and hitting that like button, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. It's a small gesture that's very much appreciated. With that, let's get back to the predictions. As previously mentioned, Mike Kuntz has talked a lot in his time as general manager of the park about refreshing Kings Island. In that time, improvements have been made to the Rivertown, Coney Mall, and International Street areas of the park, and most recently, X-Space was redone and reopened as Area 72 for Orion. I think 2023 is when we will see something happen for the kids area of the park, Planet Snoopy. Perhaps they turn it into a Camp Snoopy instead, which I think would be really nice. Maybe it'll see some kind of new attraction added. As someone with children, I can say that area of the park definitely feels like it could use a little bit of love to me, but also as someone who stopped caring about kids rides personally quite a while ago, I don't really have too much in the way of strong feelings about this other than the fact I predict Kings Island will feel the need to do some work to this area within the next 5 years. If you consider Windseeker a thrill ride, then by the 2024 season, it will have been 13 years since Kings Island has received a thrilling flat ride, and 21 years since the last one if you don't. In any case, I think it's around 2024 that we can expect to see Kings Island get a new one. What will they add? Oh, there's a ton of possibilities, but I think the S&S Scream and Swing has been a popular addition at other parks. I also wonder if maybe we could see a Gerstlauer Skyflyer here. As to where Kings Island may put a ride like this, my money would be on Action Zone. You've got a couple of older rides in Congo Falls and in Vertigo that have been rumored to come down at some point for years now. But if they want to keep those in operation, they also have the Timberwolf Amphitheater, which is seldom used at this point, that could also be removed to make room for new flats. Of course, they could always put something in the Vortex plot, but that would be a huge bummer since I think most park goers would prefer to see a new coaster there. And it's been quite some time since Action Zone has received a new update. Speaking of the Vortex plot, it's also during the 2024 season that I'm predicting we'll start to see the signs of what's coming next in 2025. The 2025 season is when I'm predicting Kings Island will see a new coaster edition. Last year, in my video about the removal of Vortex, I said I thought that Kings Island wouldn't wait more than 2 to 3 years to replace Vortex. But then, earlier this year, Cedar Fair stated on an earnings call that they would be slowing down the rate of new coaster editions, and that was before the COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on the attractions industry. So I now think that prediction was a bit optimistic. 5 years though? Yeah, I think that's a lot more reasonable, especially after a major coaster edition like Orion. And I'd be willing to bet we will have our new roller coaster by then. Now, what will go there? That's the real question, and it's a tough one because there is just so much that could fit in this area, and Kings Island isn't short on space here. A mock multi-launch like Time Traveler or Copperhead Strike is a possibility. I also still think a Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster in the style of the Smiler at Alton Towers would look absolutely incredible here. And there's currently only one in the entire chain, with the relatively recent addition of Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. An RMC Raptor, although lower capacity than what the park usually goes for, would be a cool addition. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the closest one to the park will be Jersey Devil when it opens, so it's something additional to set Kings Island apart from Cedar Point. I could also still totally see a B&M dive coaster going here, since this spot provides such a good opportunity for a show coaster, but I'm not sure it's as likely as I originally thought, because there are a few nearby. There's just a lot of stuff that could go here, and I think it won't be until we start seeing filings to the zoning office that we'll be able to narrow it down. So that's it, my take on what the next 5 seasons at Kings Island might look like. It'll be really interesting to revisit this video in 5 years and see if I got any of this right. What about you guys? Any thoughts on what you think Kings Island will do over the next 5 seasons? Let me know in the comments section down below. Anyway, folks, that all clear means I'm up, and out of here. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys next time.